my mum was one of 5 sisters and a brother, and during the week, her youngest sister and the last of her siblings was laid to rest over in England. My 2 sisters travelled across to represent the family, while the others held the fort back home looking after Mum, who, if anyone's been following this, will know has Alzheimer's. And it was kind of tricky knowing whether or not to tell her sister had died. Like, I guess my mum, like, she had it tough. Like, her earliest memories were in an air raid shelter with the door open and a warden standing there trying to get this woman and her child to safety, and the woman, like, thrust the child into the air warden's arms as a piece of shrapnel decapitated her. And, like, that was Mum's earliest memory. Obviously, that's the kind of thing that would stick. And then shortly after that, she remembers being on a train with her mum, and her mum said that she had to use the bathroom and to stay where she was. And so Mum sat there, and there were a couple of other people in the compartment, a couple of nuns, and all of a sudden the train started to move off, and Mum started screaming, that they'd forgotten her mum. And one of the nuns, like, just beat her in the legs and told her to basically shut up, and she was being evacuated. And that was the last she saw of her mother for a number of years. And she was taken off into the countryside, and she was really badly treated by the people who were supposed to be looking after her. They were obviously doing it for, some sort of an allowance or something. So it was really tough. And then after she married Dad, Dad took her to Ireland, and she had an ever-increasing family of children with no real family support. So it must have been quite a lonely time for her. And like, we grew up, I suppose, with Mum and Dad. It's wrong to say they argued, because it was one-sided. Mum would, she was absolutely depressed, and she was complaining bitterly to Dad, you took me away from my family and whatever. And Dad never argued back. Like, he adored her, but his people skills when it came to relationships, I suppose he didn't know how to cope, and he'd just go climb mountains. He'd disappear and go climb mountains, which frustrated Mum even more. So it was only really when Dad was forced to retire, because he was self-employed, so he was never there. But when he was forced to retire, he spent time at home, and, like, they completely fell in love with each other. Like, they were like teenagers. And so when she lost him, then in the end, 3 years ago, it was really even a greater tragedy, because really they'd spent over 50 years together, but she'd only really found him recently, and then she lost him. And then, of course, like, even then she had the onset of Alzheimer's, though Dad had, protected her, but he'd look after her and protect her. So it wasn't really as apparent to us as it became after Dad died. So with Aunt Theresa being buried, we decided, I suppose, not to say anything to her. I guess we're trying to give her the childhood that she never had. We're just making sure that she's happy. We go shopping for clothes with her. We watch The Quiet Man or Nanny McPhee over and over again, because I haven't seen this film, although we just watched it the day before. And and then every now and again, something really profound or insightful or generous or whatever comes out of Mum, like, unexpectedly, amid all the anecdotes and the repetitions. Suddenly something really, really significant comes out that makes you know that she's still there, that amid all that confusion, she's still there, and she's still Mum. And I guess that's what's been on my mind this week. Here's where you'll find me on social media, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe just down here. Thanks a million.